Last but not least, where's the Twitter page? Twitter, where are you, Twitter? Twitter. There you go. Yeah, we got freaking bumped off. Yeah. We got about 23 minutes left anyway. It's supposed to be a 1 hour sports study tonight. 1 hour. So back to what I was saying. I was talking about Lamar Jackson and why the Ravens should not give him the money. They should just trade him. And I'll just recap that real quick. So I think that the Ravens are just wasting their time with Lamar Jackson. They should just get rid of him because he already reached the ceiling. He's not going to get any better. And that's it. You know? That's really it. And look, I know you Ravens fan, Ravens flock, whatever the heck you want to call yourselves, you guys are all upset and you think people are hating on Lamar Jackson. Even you guys should understand that Lamar Jackson is not your long-term solution. He gave you what he gave you your few years, and he won his MVP. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with him, especially in the AFC, because if Lamar wants any chance to get into the Super Bowl, he needs to get out of the AFC, first of all. Because with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, who I'm not that big on, but I think I would take Allen over Lamar. And I think the Bills are in a better spot than the Ravens. Joe Burrow, and then you got Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence coming right there. Right? One of those two are going to have a breakout next season. It's almost guaranteed that a quarterback breaks out. Both of those guys, one of those or even both, are going to be better than Lamar Jackson. And who knows what Deshaun Watson does with Cleveland after getting a full camp and a full season after getting his rust off. I'm not sold on Deshaun Watson either, to be honest. But I think he's a slightly better than Lamar Jackson. And he will have slightly more better targets, at least next season. Now, that could change in a couple of years because once his money kicks in, it's going to be a big storm of sell-offs in Cleveland. But now let's move on. So Lamar, Ravens trade Lamar. That would be my advice. If they called me and asked me, that's what I would say. Don't pay him. So T. Higgins, wide receiver for the Kansas City. No, excuse me. Wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals. Rumors are jumping around all over the goddamn place. This guy's rumored to be on every team in the world. Everybody wants T. Higgins. Now, T. Higgins did respond to him. He told NFL Network that they asked him about him being photoshopped into uniforms all over every uniform in NFL. He says he plans on being in Cincinnati for a while. Now, what he plans to do and what actually happens, we all know that's a different story. But let's listen to T. Higgins as he was at the Super Bowl. Now, this was about 10 days ago, right? So, obviously, things should change. But let's listen to T. Higgins talk at the Super Bowl to the about his future as a Bengal. Play it.
Something like you're going to be traded or instead of getting a contract or whatever. What's your reaction when you see that just kind of come up out of the blue, that kind of BS?
Yeah, I seen that. Obviously, I ain't say nothing about it. Nobody within my team said anything about it. So when I seen it, it was shocking to me. But at the end of the day, I know what I got going on internally with the organization, and I love Cincinnati. I love being there, and hopefully I'm there for most of my career.
I mean, you got to feel like something special is brewing,
For
right?
sure, for sure.
I mean,
So that's what he says. He loves Cincinnati, and he wants to be there for most of his career. So the last part of that line, most of his career. So he I love Cincinnati. I want to be here. I love being here. But then at the end of that quote, he says, I want to be there for most of my career. Not my whole career. Not all of my career, but most of it. So what does that mean? Now, that means that he is already on his way out the door, folks. He tries to pretend that the rumors and the trade stuff doesn't bother him, but let's put it this way. This guy wants to get paid. And I would not be surprised if it was his own camp that put out the rumors about him being traded to steam up some attention to see what the market is like, to try to force the Bengals' hand a bit on deciding, hey man, we want to keep this. We so close to a Super Bowl. Should we pay him or let him walk? Because remember, I think Higgins he might have like a year left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. So he the move and after that contract is up, he had played about maybe about 25, 26. He played about 5 years at that point, 4 or 5 years. Now, usually average NFL career is about 3 to 5 years, so I don't know how much longer he would play at an elite level. He's only really going to have one chance at a big contract. And playing with Joe Burrow, his numbers are going to be really good, and he's going to get paid. It's just a matter of how much. Right? After seeing all the money that goes out between Devontae Adams and other receivers that have gotten paid or been traded for large compensation from other teams, T. Higgins he's going to get paid. And this is his time right now to strike, because if he waits until Jamal Chase's time comes, because that's going to be coming up soon too, and if the Bengals are in a position, Bengals not a big market team, they're in a position where they're going to choose Chase over Higgins when it comes to giving out the big bucks. I don't see them going back to back, paying large amounts of money to two wide receivers, then have to turn around and pay Joe Burrow. So Higgins knows that his time is very limited in Cincinnati. That's why he goes, he would like to be here. He loves it here. Kind of throwing it out there like, look, guys, I love you guys. So talk to me. Come to me. Show me some money. Let's talk now so we don't have to do this later. So that's what that quote, I was just trying to dissect what that quote meant. And that was 10 days ago. So that was 10 days ago. So like 10, 12 days later, it's heating up because maybe he didn't get what he wanted. Maybe the Bengals didn't come to him yet. So now they had to turn up the notch and start amping up the rumors more. But would I be shocked if it was his agent or his camp throwing this stuff out there, right, to try to force the Bengals to make a decision? Because it doesn't do Higgins any favors if the Bengals are not making a big move to pay him now. Because the longer they wait, the worse it gets for Higgins, because they're going to give Chase the money before Higgins if they don't pay Higgins. So Higgins is hoping to get some money now. What, pay me now? And what if they think, well, maybe not as good without Burrow? Burrow might be the reason why you look good. Maybe you are that good because you're playing with Jamal Chase. Right? We've seen receivers play great alongside this number ones like with the Steelers with what's the guy's name? Martavius Bryant, when you play with Antonio Brown, and then the Juju and Claypool and all those guys. I mean, you see scenarios where the number 2 guy is as good as the number 1. It happens sometimes, but sometimes a team is not going to pay 2 wide receivers large amounts of money. So if you're the Bengals, what do you do? Do you come with an offer to Higgins that's a good offer, but that's not going to break the bank? Because you also got to remember, you got to pay Chase at some point, and you want to keep the offense together, and you don't want to break the bank. Or do you say, you know what? Let's see what's out there on the market. Let's quietly call teams. A lot of rumors about first round, fourth round for different guys. Do you just, if you get a first round pick offer for Higgins, I guess the Bengals would have to take that, because you're not going to get a better offer for Higgins. If a team calls and, hey, I got a 4 and a 1, I think a 1 is way too much for Higgins. But if a team called and offered that, the Bengals should jump on that. I mean, there's a lot of rumors like the Patriots. I think the Patriots are stupid if they did that. But that's a rumor. A lot of teams have been rumored to offer a first and a 4 for Higgins. And the Detroit Lions is another team that's been talked about. Lions have proved really good offensively. A lot of points they like to put up there. And the Bears are another team. I know Jacoby Myers has been a rumor for the Bears. There's some receivers going to be available, though. So I guess it depends on how much you're willing to spend on one and what's the situation like. To me, I don't think the Patriots should even consider Higgins, because why do that? I say re-sign Myers, bring back the crew in New England, let's see what Bill O'Brien can do with that offense and that talent, because the weapons are not bad. They're not bad. I mean, I know people like to make fun of the Patriots offense, and the Patriot fans are so spoiled that they forget that for years Tom Brady was thrown to stiffs for most of his career, besides having a great tight end and Gronk at times. And when he got hurt, and then Julian Edelman becoming the Patriots' best receiver for a long chunk of that time. But this receiving core with the tight ends, maybe they don't have a good offensive coordinator. I say give Bill O'Brien a chance with this offensive roster if I'm the Patriots. I know we just jumped from the Bengals to the Patriots, but stay with me here. Give Bill O'Brien a chance with Mac Jones, who was good in his rookie year. He digressed in his second year because he had Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator. Now, even though Zach Bailey had good moments, but I say Bill O'Brien, give him this offensive weapon, give Mac another shot here, and see what he could do with the tight ends, or maybe trade one of the tight ends. And you got a bunch of 2s and 3s as receivers. I know you don't have a legitimate one, but I say bring back Myers. You could probably get him at a reduced rate, unless somebody comes out and blows you out the door with an offer where, hey, we're going to give Myers an unbelievable contract and he walks. Yeah, but if you can bring him back relatively at a decent rate, I say bring him back, because he's already had he's already had a decent rapport with Mac Jones, and he's already played pretty well under Belichick. There's a lot of factors in New England when it comes to receivers, right? Because guys, not everyone can play in New England, even guys with big names. So it's not a guarantee that you can go out and grab a guy and it's going to fit, right? Jacoby Myers already proved that he can play in New England. He's relatively gotten better every year. He hasn't had any issues. I mean, the guy fits. So and if you look at Higgins and Myers, it's really not that big of a difference, right? I mean, yes, Higgins is a big receiver. He's like 6'4", 220, 214, 15. I think Myers is like 6'2", 200. But I just don't know. I don't who knows that if Higgins will even work. And then you give up a first and a 4. I just don't see if I have to give up a first and a 4 for Higgins, I'd rather just keep Myers and work that out and give at least if things don't work out with Bill O'Brien, you know that Mac Jones is on a short lease anyway. He's gonna be on his best behavior. He's gonna be highly motivated to have a better season going into year 3. Because at this point, if he doesn't work out with Bill O'Brien, who's considered really a great offensive mind and worked well in New England before, then Mac is going to be on the pack and out the door. So he's going to be highly motivated to have a better third season. I believe he's going to have a much better third year under Bill O'Brien. And you keep the core you have. I don't see. And then with that Patriot defense, I think Patriots is going to be a very lookout for a team next year, especially if the O'Brien thing works out. If that offense gets a tick better or even a little bit better, which it could happen. Remember, this is the NFL in a new era, right? Where Detroit had one of the best offenses last year, Detroit Lions. So it's not out of the possibility that the Patriots can come back and have a really good offense. And Belichick is going to put out a good defense. He's not going to embarrass you on defense. So I see the Patriots being a lot better than what people think, honestly. I think they're going to be a sleeper. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying all that. But what I am saying is that don't sleep on New England and the AFC East. I know everyone's pumping up the Jets and the Dolphins. No, the Jets are done. Just a doormat. They'll be last place. Okay, I think the division is going to come down to the Patriots and the Bills. Bills with the slight edge right now, but I believe that it's going to be a lot closer. And Dolphins are not sold on. I know they got good weapons. But the quarterback is going to be an issue for them. So, if I'm New England, I bring back Myers. Don't trade for Higgins, okay? Because it's going to cost you too much. Then you got to pay the guy next season. And I don't know if Bill Belichick's guy is going to want to pay wide receivers that kind of money, okay? Especially on a quarterback. Now, if Tom Brady was the quarterback, or like, you know how like they went out and got Randy Moss and they took a flyer. Then you say, okay, we'll trade for Higgins because we think he could be the missing piece. But Mac Jones is the quarterback, or Zach Bailey. They're not established. They're still trying to improve their game, and so to take a chance to that much for T. Higgins would be a high risk that may not even work. You already took enough risk when you went out and got Devontae Parker. You traded for that, and then for that receiver for Miami didn't really pan out that great, right? I mean, how great was Devontae Parker last year? He had 31 catches for 539 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you made that deal. Right? He played 13 games. So now Devontae Parker is a little bit different than T. Higgins, of course. But it wasn't like Parker was a scrub. So you have to just have to be careful if I'm New England with that. I just wouldn't do it. Maybe between Parker and Myers, you can get that same production that Higgins is getting out of. And And Higgins is only I mean Myers is only 20.